Hi, everyone. Are we good? Awesome. Thanks so much for being here tonight. We're really excited to do, this is our first MCP Connect Travel Edition. So huge thanks to Evaneos for hosting us tonight. However, this is not our first MCP Connect. So here at Alpic, we have been doing MCP Connects for about a year now, and this is actually our 16th edition of MCP Connect. We've done this in about 7 or 8 different cities now, on various themes, travel being one of them. We've done some kind of more broad, just agentic web themes, but we see that especially industries like travel, there's so much potential and so much change going on because of AI and because of the possibilities that AI is offering, that I think it's really valuable to kind of get people from the same industry kind of talking about that, talking about the challenges that it presents in addition to the opportunities. So welcome, thank you for being here. And we will be doing more of these. So if you are interested in speaking and sharing any of the technical challenges that you faced, or even sharing your offices with us, like Evaneos has done with us tonight. We're always very happy to have for you to participate. So you can follow our calendar, you can offer a talk, and you can obviously come talk to us afterwards if you have other suggestions. So on tonight's agenda, what we wanted to do tonight was kind of look at travel, the AI in travel from several different perspectives, from the perspective of a technology provider like Alpic, from the perspective of complex custom travel at Evaneos, and from new distribution of travel from actors like Jinko. So we hope that that gives you kind of a broad overview of kind of what we're looking at. If incomplete, obviously, as there's a lot more to do in this industry. But we'll start out with Antoine from Evaneos, about who's going to be talking about how to bring AI into a complex product and a complex existing product like custom travel, where being at the right place at the right moment is really difficult. Then we will have Kevin from Jinko, who's going to be looking at how MCP offers a new distribution channel and a new distribution layer for travel. And then we'll finish up with Pierre-Louis from Alpic, who's going to show us a little bit how MCP apps can change the experience of planning and booking trips. So I want to give the floor before we start to Romain from Evaneos, who would like to say a couple words of intro.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So I'm Romain. I'm in charge of the product and innovation teams at Evaneos. I'm very happy that we host you today. So to present to you a little bit Evaneos, we are the alternative to over-tourism. We connect travelers directly with local agencies around the world to co-create customized, tailor-made trips, more responsible itineraries, so they can experience destinations like locals and have a more positive impact on the local community. So definitely AI is reshaping the customer experience in the travel industry and the way we work internally, of course. But when we talk about travel, we know it takes the several phases like inspiration, generating travel itineraries, tomorrow, in the future, booking several services at the same time. Only the travel experience itself is less susceptible to changes with the AI. So it's the main driver, as you know, of satisfaction at Evaneos. It's 67% of positive reviews that are related to what happens at destination. So AI, we believe it will become a commodity, and when AI becomes a commodity, what will set brands apart, services apart, is the service, the quality of service itself, the experience, and the trust also people place in it. But Also, it will work only if you find yourself on the right path of the travelers. And we are going from a navigation era to a delegation era. And it's in this context, we started to work on MCPs to develop a set of tools for agentic purposes, whereas it is used on our websites or outside of our websites, such as ChatGPT apps, for instance, or Cloud apps, to help travelers choose an itinerary, create one, or choose a relevant agency. And even internally, actually, it helps us because we combine two complexities. We are a marketplace, so heterogeneous network, and we do tailor-made trips. So imagine 500 agencies doing thousands of combinations of trips and millions of messages between travelers and agents. So we need to navigate in a very, very scattered context. And that's what Antoine is going to talk to you about tonight.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Romain. I'm Antoine, and I'm a deployed engineer here at Evaneos. And I work basically shoulder to shoulder with a lot of services in-house, from sales ops to customer care to marketing, engineering. And that's exactly how I ran into the problem I'm about to describe. Tonight, we will see agents that can act on travel. I'm going first to start with something quieter, but just as critical. Before an agent can act on travel, it has to understand the company, the business, everything behind the trip. And in travel, that's exactly where it breaks and where it's difficult. So, as Romain said, we are not selling flights or hotel, we are selling tailor-made trips. And that means 3 weeks in Thailand designed for you by your local agency who actually live there, stitched together from dozens of suppliers, adjusting for the season, the budget, your insurance, the fact that you're traveling with 2 kids, and you severely hate early flights. So a tailor-made trip is not a product on the shelf with a price tag. It is assembled live and out of knowledge that lives in a lot of people's head and a lot of systems. And that knowledge, as Romain said, is scattered, not across a few services or domains, but across dozens of a catalog, agency, performance, customer care, marketing, sales up, finance, pricing, suppliers, reviews, and each with their own schema, their own vocabulary. And here's a twist. At Evaneos, every team wants an AI agent that acts for them with that complexity in context. So we try to build one, or at least to provide one. And the model is definitely the easy part. The hard part is getting the right context to the right place and at the right moment. Let's take 2 questions that could be asked within Evaneos. A marketer who is working on a project and is asking which destination for this week family's newsletter should I promote? Where do I put the spotlight? Okay, boom. Offer catalog, agency performance, commercial potential, newsletter historic. That is the kind of context you need to gather. That depends on a lot of part of the company or systems. Or a care agent. Which travelers are in Thailand right now or landing in 7 days? And same, live operational data, a lot of personal information. And there is 100 question more like them. So it's always Evaneos, same company, but zero shared path to the answer. So the real question is, how do you give every team's agent the right company context and at the right moment? Okay, I will make a small digression there, but at a personal scale, I do have something similar, not quite the same, but similar. My context is scattered across GitHub, Slack, Notion, meetings, email, AI chats, so basically every tools I use on a daily basis. And I work on several projects, since I work with a lot of teams at once, and I manage a lot of information. So to solve this, I built myself a second brain, driven by my agent. That's a common practice. It can become a common practice. And the move that matters is I basically plugged some data sources through MCP, entre autres. So Slack, Notion, GitHub, meeting transcriptions, and so on. And the agent can act, and it has access to my context. But that's not enough. It also learns, because it writes down both what it finds and how it finds it. And it writes down in simple, plain Markdown. Every node are linked to each other. Sources are cited about how it obtained knowledge. Nothing exotic, just text structure that both a human or an agent can read easily. And on top of that, a daily rhythm. So every evening, the agent captures what happens during the day. Every once a week, a routine known as dream. I love it. This still does captures into a consolidated long-term memory. The raw stuff gets promoted into something more durable. And the property I care about is that it composes over time. The memory is living. The more I use it, the less I re-explain the agent what is my personal context. And as the agent, an agent plugged into it gets sharper over time. So just a thought, but maybe the whole company could benefit from it to get the Evaneos context, the global context. Let's just scale it. And an obvious way to scale it, just install and connect MCPs everywhere onto every Evaneosian agents. Okay, it's fun and easy, but eventually it will work for people. They will have their personal notebooks, but hardly the global context of Evaneos. The second brain works for me because it manage my context. Context I define, I maintain, and which is within my domain of expertise. So this is not the good solution. It's not. It do not address the right problem. The hard problem is another one. It's the company context. So concretely, if I get back to the problem, if I ask an agent what is our sales rate, I ask once, and in another session, I ask a second time. It may compute the two things in very different way. But sales rate is one precise definition. I could ask also what are Evaneos values. One day it will send me to a Notion document, and the other day to another one. So the company context needs one authoritative source. Same question, same answer to be every time. So the second thing you lose is the memory doesn't compose across people. The agent need to rediscover everything every time. 100 colleagues, 100 private answer, nothing is shared. But it needs to compose at a company scale. So the fix isn't more or fewer MCPs or few or more data sources. It's an interface that the company owns, which is its responsibility, connected to every sources it needs to provide the context of the company. And the responsibility sits where within that boundary. The second move, let's give it a memory, because we want it to capitalize onto its knowledge over time. The tool alone means the agent relearns the company on every question. So where does the family offer live? How do you compute agency performance, etc. And this part is the slow, error-prone, and expensive part to gather the right context. So this memory is quite simple. It's plain Markdown once again. And it's for each concept, designate where and how to retrieve fresh data. And this is a standard that came in the open a few days, weeks, not so long ago, named OKF for Open Knowledge Format. It's an open standard backed by Google. Bit early, but it's really simple. It's basically the enterprise version of my Markdown notes. So one file per concept with a header, and it's my memory layer made company grade. And this is where the dream comes back, but at company scale, because you're capturing memories over time, but you need to curate it. So to curate it and make it more truthful, one rule, verify before you promote. And this is where the company needs to define the governance behind it. Once a memory has been promoted and curated, it can be used and for everyone within Evaneos. And that's how the company definitions stay authoritative. And of course, because we are at MCP Connect, you expose it with one MCP server, easy to access, easy to maintain, same knowledge and same way for everyone. And that's living context, the right context, one path for the company, real data, the right place inside the tool each person already uses on a daily basis, and the right moment, live data, and a memory that compose. Just to, I was planning for a real demo, but seriously, it's too slow. And so basically, when I ask something, which destination should we feature in the family newsletter based on agency better trip index? This is the inner scoring for is this agency is really in line with us or a bit less, and commercial potential. So we are not alone here. Do not disclose any number. Blah 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 blah. It will read the OKF memory first, match the concept, compose a query in order to get to a data source, whatever the data source is, run the search, retrieve the data, compose the answer, and that writing back to the hot memory for it to be created later. Once again, as Romain said, the model is becoming a commodity. Everyone here in this room have access to the same frontier model. The hard problem is how you get the context, the right context to the right place at the right moment. And this is especially true for travel and more for custom trips in the travel industry. So the one-liner is it's not the question was never whether to plug MCP. It's more where you plug it, and what you let it carry. A honest note about this keynote and everything we do at Evaneos. We don't have this all figured out at all. OKF is new. The concept isn't, but this kind of implementation is quite new. We test a lot of things. We make a lot of mistakes, but we iterate definitely, like everyone here. And see if this resonates with you, come find me tonight, and I would love to chat with you. On a promotional note, Grisma, where is Grisma? She's here. Grisma is our talent acquisition manager, and we are looking for an AI project engineer. You can flash the QR code, of course, or come to see Grisma or me as well. Thanks a lot. T'es prêt?
Does it work? Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. I was wondering if you stumbled on OKF at first trial, or if you tried any other technologies before settling on OKF as a specific one.
Okay, OKF it just make things sharper and well defined across the industry. Basically, what I name second brain, I name it a vault for me, but I already had this for a long time now, for several months, for my personal use. OKF is something that just went out a few weeks ago, and that make more clear the intents for this kind of memory layer and the way you form it for the agent to make it actionable. Yes. And I definitely stumbled on it like everyone else. So, oh, cool! It looks like what I do. Yeah.
My question is about the context. So here, if I understand correctly, there is a connection between the agent and several internal tools. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the purpose here is just to understand the purpose of this implementation. It's for the internal work of the agency, or it's to understand the context of a trip of a customer.
Here at Evaneos, we deployed largely for the all staff agency assistants. So everybody has access to Cloud Code, for instance. But there are several ways to use this kind of technology. You can use it as a chat. It's too bad, but you can do that. Or you can use it as a real assistant and give it tasks, specific goals.
Okay.
But if you give it a goal, you need to provide it with context.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you live, what you're doing on day-to-day basis. What is your work, your job? You will have your own context and the context of the whole company.
Okay.
How do you retrieve data? How do you access cost information? For example, I'm a customer care agent. I want to get some data information about the insurance of one of our traveler abroad that has an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So it's okay.
It's for the way I put it. It's for internal usage.
Okay. But you can extend it, for example, if you want to, if it is a tailor-made trip, maybe to get the context of the customer and then suggest him some specific trips. I don't know.
Now, if you got one customer and you want to retrieve the context. If you're within a product range, I'm not sure it is the right way to address the problem, because this way to form the context is globally, I want the context to be available to the whole company, but with some coherence and governance. If you got one customer that needs to access his own data, you will have a server that will just send the data to the agent, and the agent is developed in order to process this data and give the right message to your traveler.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just have one question. It's like you also showed I guess you can hear me well like that as well. So you showed one question on the screen, like during a slide. It's like how many people are traveling to a given destination in coming 7 days. I wonder these informations are like possible to.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, can you hear? Yeah, that's better.
It's better.
Yeah, I was asking you, like you showed in one of your slides that you can have this kind of information, like how many people are traveling to a given destination in coming 7 days, and based on that information, you can sell the services, like what would they like to have, or the kind of things like the agent can answer based on knowing the fact they are travelers as well. Where this my first question is, so I wanted to know is like, is it possible really to get these kind of informations, like the people coming to a given destination in coming 7 days? And the second question would be like, how you like where do you sell the service? Like I understand there's one part where you sell it to the agencies, like where they get the information of the customer. And the second part is like, as a customer can also use the service to know more about the destinations where he can travel. So what is where is the model lying? I mean,
I'm not sure to have the good understanding.
Yes,
That
so the first
I
question.
think it's a bit aside
Yeah, the two
talk.
questions I am asking. The first
Yeah.
question is about the destination-based like travel. People like when people is traveling to a given destinations, like isn't it like something very how easy is to know these kind of data?
We do have data. We do have data, and we use them in order to fulfill the contract we have with people at the destination. But that's all, I think. we need data to operate. We have contract with people that leave the country in order to discover new way of life, etc. So I'm not sure I got it. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm just wondering, like you said you learned your agent with informations like this kind of information. I don't know if you hear me well. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, so you said you learn your agent with the past informations, and so I was wondering, like, how do you train your agent with the information, like he's able to tell, like I'm just, this question is very simple, like how the past event can lead to the future events, like in terms of where people are traveling, or maybe who is traveling in terms of like.
If I understand correctly, it's they're using for the internal use.
Like
It's-
for an
it's-
agency, or
No, it's for their internal use as an agency.
It
It's not
doesn't
for
leave
travelers.
the company.
It's for the internal use of the company, not for travelers.
Okay.
You see,
We can take that
after it.
Yeah, sorry. Perhaps one last question.
Yes, one. I do my best to be short. Thanks for the presentation. I was wondering if there's any of us who would like to give it a try and build their own memory system and so on. What would be the pointers you would have besides of Google OEFK or OKF? Yeah, OKF.
Open
Instead of
knowledge
this
format.
one, maybe like what are the few learnings you had along the way that could accelerate any of us testing?
Definitely, it all depends on how you structure your memory layers. You got I show it, but you got things like yeah, for example, yeah, okay. You got a type annotation. This is whatever you want. Okay. A domain. This is whatever you want. And this, in fact, you need to define how you structure your dimensions, basically. For my personal usage, and it's maybe more easy to understand, I got people type, meeting types, project type, stuff like this, like that, dailies, and that's all. And that's enough. And it allows the agent to better understand what kind of information I do have interest in and how to structure them in order for them to be actionable in the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. I'm Kevin. I'm very happy to chat with you today about MCP, and wow. I'm the co-founder of Jinko. What we are building with Jinko is we are building a travel infrastructure for agents. We believe that agents need something new to work at scale, and this is what I'm going to present you. We are not going to talk only about MCP. We are going to talk about MCP, CLI, MCP apps, a lot of stuff. Hopefully it will be useful for many of you. But before to dig into the details about the technical side, I wanted to take a step back about what is travel, and I think Antoine did a very good job to explain what Evaneos is building. And Evaneos, I think, is more on this side, like the former side, travel agents. Travel agents is not like something on the past; it's something very important, and I think we believe with Jinko that human will stay as a travel agent, but we also believe the value of human is to get recommendation and to get a personalization about your trip. This is what you explained very well. A travel agent usually knows you, knows why you are traveling, knows that you have children, and knows everything about the context, what you explained. But in the 2000s, we have moved from this distribution system to this one, online travel agencies. We all know Booking.com, Expedia, Lastminute.com, all of the big guys that you use probably for one of your trip. And those guys have, how to say it, move the recommendation engine and the search part to you. So you are now the owner of the search, and you can have a do-it-yourself tool to do everything on your own. So you can, browse a lot of tabs, read a lot of blogs and so on, and so you spend more time to do it. And then from the ChatGPT era, now we have AI agents. AI agents are doing work on our behalf. I will not explain that. You always know that, right? And so we are going into the full loop circle where AI agents are now doing the work of travel agents, more or less. And we think this will be the future, and we think the context that Antoine showed will not live into human brain anymore, but it will live into the computer at some point. So how customer plan travel is changing. I think we all know that slide. It's very easy to understand, right? We have several tabs open on Google, and we spend hours every night with our wife to discuss about where we should go, which flight to take, which hotel sounds good for us, and so on. So it's a mess. It's very time consuming, and we never know if we are going to have the best deals or not. And then today we have the AI travel assistants, where with one prompt, I can get personalized recommendation, and I can click on book or not if I'm happy with it. So basically, I can save time and money by asking something very deep about what I want and explaining the context. I think the key here is, again, explaining the context to the AI assistant so he can understand you better and then have a personal recommendation. The issue with travel industry, and I'm not talking about MCP, I'm talking about the infrastructure layer that's it behind. This is a classic API in the flight side, right? If you want to sell flight today, you need to work with this API that require origin, destination, and date that are mandatory fields. The issue with this API is how you are going to answer this question, which is very open, with this kind of API. If you look at the question, where can I go this summer with my wife, my 2 children, for less than $200 for a 7-day trip in a sunny destination? I have an infinite possibilities right there. And here, I need to decide which date and which destination. And so technically speaking, what it means is you need to translate this into a lot of API calls that will generate 3 difficulties. You will add latency to your system. You will add API orchestration. How do you know this is a sunny destination? You will probably use an LLM to give you a list of sunny destination and then make each API call for each date combination. It's not very efficient. And then you will have cost, because some of you may know, but if you lose a flight API, it will come with a cost. You need to pay for each call that you are making aside a certain threshold. And so this is why we are building Jinko. Jinko is helping AI agents with the new infrastructure and services to distribute travel. So if you are building an AI agent that do something else from travel or that do travel, you can add Jinko and start to sell travel within minutes. This is basically what we do. We remove the complexity from you, from the technical side and the legal side. Our infrastructure is split into 3 different blocks. We have the AI connectors. So we provide our services via MCP apps, MCP, CLI, and API. I will discuss about why we are doing that and what are the type of customer that may be interesting with one of them. Then we have a recommendation engine. This is what we discuss. How can I answer a user intent that is very broad into a personal recommendation? We have designed a bunch of tools that are dedicated to that, that is not available on the market from the traditional API providers. And then we have the travel agency stack. So we are a travel agency in Europe. We are a travel agency in the US. If you want to sell travel in Europe, and in the US, in California especially, it's a regulated market. So you need to get accredited by ARC and by IATA in Europe. And so this is what we have done. So you don't need to do it again. It's taking time and it's costly. So now we are providing flight and hotel, and we are providing the 4 different pieces: search, book, pay, and post-booking. And because we are building for agents, we are also providing agentic payments. So if your agents want to use our system to pay with a token, SPT, we can support it. And we are going to support all the agentic payments protocol that are going to emerge. If we look at the connector maps, I think that's an interesting piece, right? Because when we started with MCP only. And MCP, it's very good, but then we have 2 different kinds of MCP now. We have MCP and MCP apps. If you look at the difference, with MCP apps, you can embed a UI into an agent. So as a brand, you control the UI, you control what you want to show, and you can put your brand on it. It's very good, but sometimes, and some customers that we have prefer to have MCP or CLI. Why? Because they believe the agents will build the UIs themselves. So it's a completely different opinion, and we respect both. So in that case, MCP and CLI are useful because the customer that we have can just use the LLM to build in real time the UI. This is, for instance, what Claude is doing. Whenever you're asking Claude a question, now he can draw a chart in real time. So this is basically the same concept. And then we have API because sometimes for travel, it's still useful to have a button. It's still useful to have a very classic interface, and API are still working well for that. If we look at MCP apps, this is our own MCP apps, ChatGPT app that we have built with Alpic, that is hosted on Alpic. And you can see that we have basically recreated the UI that you are very familiar with, that is embedded directly within ChatGPT. So you can see the hotel room, you can see the a kind of carousel, and then we have the full experience about at the same time conversational, but also very visual. So this is for MCP apps. We can offer it as a white label. So if one of you are building agent and want to add travel, we can of course remove the Jinko brand and build something dedicated for you. And then we have one of our customers that is in the room. So I will let Vincent present Co-op and explain how we integrated Jinko.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Vincent from Co-op, the co-founder and CTO of the company. So Co-op is an AI-native travel operating system for travel professionals, so travel agencies, local agencies, and tour operating agencies. So we provide a complete infrastructure for them to build and distribute travel products all around the world. So we are working for agencies like select tour agencies, like the biggest tour operating system, tour operators, and local agencies too, all around the world. We are providing an interface like that. That's a SaaS product, basically, where professionals can build literally everything. So from a brief from a client, you can build a quote, you can book, we'll talk about it soon, and you can also build roadbooks, travel mobile app, etc., etc. So everything, limits are non-existing. Of course, we can do accounting, etc., etc. And the most important part for us today is that we built an internal MCP with Co-op, with all our data exposed to our customers, to build something like all you know in the room is like a cursor for the travel agencies. So they can do literally everything from a chat. So they can build their itineraries. And for the booking part, we work very closely with Kevin and Jinko to allow our customers to look for airlines, to look for accommodations, and to know the real availabilities of that in real time, and to book it directly from the conversation with Teya, which is our AI agent in Co-op. So thanks to Jinko, who provides a IATA number. For safety reasons, we don't want to be a IATA at Co-op. We are a tech platform and not a travel agency. So they helped us a lot. And the integration with Jinko is something very important for us because it was very smooth, very fast. We use both products for now, maybe more later, but we use the MCP, not the MCP apps, but the MCP directly in our agent, and the API, because you all know that in the travel, it's easy to search, to look for something, to know availabilities, but when it's time to book, you have to pay for it. So the payment system is not yet fully ready to be deployed to travel professionals. So that's why we use the API for that. They need strong interfaces and not just a chat to book for real. So we are generating links for payment with Jinko, and then we expose everything into our interface. And that's why we work with them with flights and accommodations for now. It works perfectly. And we plan to use it also for train and for everything else you will build, of course.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you very much. And so to finish the presentation, the product that you can build is endless. We have more than 100 builders on the platform that are building different kind of products. And I wanted to show you two examples that I think we like personally in the team. So one of them could be an AI assistant that you embed into Instagram. So you are a creator or you are building a product for creators and you want to empower them to sell travel via Instagram. You can build an agent that responds automatically to DM and that engage the conversation to followers into to start to sell travel. So that's one, and we are discussing with people that are building that. And the second one, I think you have a lot of people in the Silicon Valley that are building this one currently. So you want an AI agent that is an executive assistant, basically doing everything for you, managing your calendar, managing your email. You want to add travel, and this is where it breaks because you are not a travel agent and you don't have the capability to do it. And we just provide the MCP and they can do it straight away. So it's just two examples. Of course, we have many more use cases, but it's up to you according to what you are building. And thank you very much. Thank you, the Alpic team, and I'm happy to take any question you may have.
Yes. Hello. I have a question because before that you mentioned the fact that we needed context to ask something to AI, but where is this context coming from for CoHub?
So we, the customer, so in that case, Co-op, can pass the context into the API or into the MCP, and so we can get the prompt. So according to the prompt, we can personalize the recommendation, but the context in our case is always coming from the customer. We are a B2B2C platform, so it's up to the customer to send us what they want.
Oh, this is the context because, for example, you shared the hotels.
Yeah.
And the booking and the process of the hotels. I thought this was the context. I mean, the information brought to say, okay, this hotel is available for you to book it.
Okay, my bad. So we have two types of context. We have the inventory context. Everything that you ask about an hotel, amenities, price, availability, it's on our side. So we are going to manage it.
Oh.
What we don't have is the user context. If you like, I don't know, the views, I don't know that. So the agent is knowing that. So the agent needs to pass the information to us so we can parse our inventory, find rooms with sea views that are fitting what you need, and then get it back with you with the right offer.
Okay, so if, for example, I work for a luxury company, is it working? But we need boutique hotels with very specific needs for our customers. How does it work? Do I use this or is it?
No, it will work. So not this one. This one is a B2C product. It's a showcase, but our MCP is working perfectly. So what you will do is you will pass the user prompt. I want a boutique hotel with this and this specific amenities or stuff that you want. And then we are going again to parse our inventory and to respond with the right offers to you. Okay. So basically you just pass free text. It's just free text. Like
even mentioning, for example, we need flexible rates and all those. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. One question about your connectors. Are you directly connected to the OTAs, to the hotel chains? What's your vision on that? Are you trying to bypass the OTAs? And just where do you get your inventory?
So we try to source as much as we can indirect. If you're from the travel industry, you know that it's impossible to do the one. So we use a lot of aggregators, but not OTAs. Different aggregators to be as close as we can. For flight, it's easier. So we have direct contact with some airlines. For hotel, we have a bunch of partners, mostly bed banks, that we consume.
Okay. And do you know the part of hotels that you have in the world available in your inventory?
Yes, we have 2.6 million of accommodation. Among that, 800K is hotels. The rest is short-term rental.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation. Super interesting. I work for a company that has a lot of non-stay activities in its catalog. How would you apply your technology to non-stay bookings?
What do you mean by non-stay?
Anything that's not a hotel.
You say long stay.
Non-stay.
Non-stay?
Anything that's not a hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like get your guide.
Got it. So we are going to partner with people. It would be very interesting to learn about your company because we are going to offer activities and things to do in our catalog. Of course, in that case, we are going to work with bed banks and OTAs. Get your guide, Viator, because this is where they have the most content. So yeah, we are doing it with partnerships.
Okay, so you would still go through those aggregators to make the...
Yeah, especially for activities, it's just impossible to source.
Makes sense. So just to clarify my question, does it mean that your technology doesn't interact at the level of booking, solving the booking issue with fragmented verticals? Like we see a lot on non-hotel activities that booking is difficult to carry over because you don't really have an aggregator that solidifies all the activities.
See. No, we're not going to solve that issue. The issue that we are going to solve is if you want to sell a complete trip, a bit like, again, what Antoine explained, you want a flight, you want things to do, you want a train, you want a commute, you want a car rental, we are going to offer all of that into one system so you can book everything in one click.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's much more like, we have also the concept of shopping cart. I wanted to not go too much into the details, but you can add stuff into your shopping cart, and so everything is in the same place, which is you don't have to build it on your side if you don't have that system.
And I guess your pricing model is that you take a percentage of the total cart value?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Just a quick question about the final scenario.
Yeah.
That way everybody can.
Yeah, it's not live yet, but it's something that we want to have. Okay. Last one? Okay.
Okay, so my question just for the final user scenario, you just present that you have an Instagram DM agent. So I think for that is super interesting. Could you just introduce a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So it's not live yet. We are expecting to have builders that want to launch something like this. So the use case is you have a lot of people on Instagram that influence how you travel, where you travel, and that may want to start to sell travel on their own. But as it's complicated to sell travel because of what we explained, the technical side and the legal complexity, today they can't really do it. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to create an agent that can answer DM direct message from followers to creators. So they can the agent can start to engage the following base to start to suggest trips and to sell travel on their own.
Okay, so just imagine like if I am a user, I send the DM in the Instagram agent, say that, hey, I want to book a trip for 7 days to Paris. And then the agent gonna transfer the message to like the info center or something.
The agents will start to respond with our inventory, and you will have the classic AI agent interaction where you can ask questions, get answer, and then you will have a quote that you can accept or not.
Yeah, makes sense. So thank you for the answer. And just another question, final one. I am still not very sure about. I understand the relationship between your service and Coco Hop. Can you explain like quickly again, like what's like the relationship between you?
Yeah, sure.
Service?
So Coco is a software. They are not a travel agency and they are not providing the booking. So they are contacting their clients that are many tour operators. And our job to help Coco is whenever they make a quote today, they don't have access to real price, real inventory, and this is not bookable. So we are giving them the opportunity to have a one-click button to say, I want it to book for their own customer.
Okay. And for Coco Hop, your agency, travel agency? No.
No.
It's just software. We are not a travel agency. That's why we work with Jinko.
Okay, software for like...
For travel agencies, for tour operators,
for
local agencies, etc.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you too.
Hello, everyone. This is the last presentation, and then we can go back to the drinks. I'll be talking about a few things tonight. Just checking if it's working here. Perfect. So I'm Pierre-Louis, one of the founder and CEO of Alpic. We've been around for about a year now. We're going to be celebrating our 1 year anniversary in a few days. And we've been building a lot of technology around MCP. And we're not a travel company, unlike the two previous one, we're a technology company. But travel has been it's been an amazing learning for me for the past year, thanks to a lot to Kevin, who taught me a lot of things. We've been helping a lot of travel companies to explore this new world, which is selling into robots and not human directly. Today, I'll talk about the distribution because like everything, it's like if you're building something, then you need to have people finding it. And today, this is probably the hardest problem and the problem that hasn't been solved. So I'll talk a little bit about the industry. I'll talk a little bit about what's the status of the distribution today, and then we'll play high risk and try to have fun and do a few live demos and test a few of these apps. So let's do it. Couple of words on Alpic. But basically what we do at Alpic, we help people building, deploying, monitoring and distributing their AI stack, mostly around MCP servers. So if you want to build and expose your product and your services directly inside ChatGPT, directly inside Cloud, directly inside all the other agentic surface, we spent the past year to build all the tooling and the infrastructure to help you do that. So if you're interested in that, feel free to come. As one of the big contribution we made to the industry is Skybridge. This is fully open source. This is a framework that helps you build MCP apps. So Evaneos, for example, I've been using it to build their own application in ChatGPT. Again, feel free to give us a star and on GitHub, please, if you have a GitHub account, and contact to us. Fred over there is our CTO, and he can tell you all about it. So now let's jump into the fun part. The online travel industry has been relying heavily on first physical agencies. There's still a massive amount of people that actually go to agency and buy tickets, which is something I'm still amazed about. But yeah, it's happening. But a lot around search. It's the biggest customer of Google is Booking.com, right? Nobody knows about it, but that's them. And because a lot of people are basically starting their journey on Google, starting their journey on search, and they want to, and everybody's fighting for that traffic. What is absolutely crazy, this is slides I actually got from an AI conference in travel, data coming from guys at Focusrite, and the shift is already happening. So we're not talking about booking yet here. We're talking about searching, and there's already almost as much people that are starting to search for travel in AI chatbots than in OTAs, which is absolutely crazy. Was nothing a couple of years ago, obviously, and now it's skyrocketing. And I'm sure all of you have been like talking with an AI to say, hey, I want to do that with my kids, with my wife, with my girlfriend. What's also interesting here is that not only travelers are using AI, but where are they using AI? And I think what struck me with that is that people, they want to use AI in the tool they like and love. They want to use AI in ChatGPT and Cloud 2 times more than using it inside your website. So I think this is really important to understand is like when ChatGPT came out a couple of years ago, everybody started to build chatbots. It's like you had in every website, every SaaS, everything, people were building their own chatbots. I think it's a very important thing to do because still a lot of people want to use them. But more importantly, people want to use the chatbot they like. And the chatbot they like is ChatGPT, is Claude, is Gemini, and it's not your clunky chatbot that you have on your website. So that I think is super important to understand. How people are using AI for. Most of it is in a very clunky way, which is going back and forth between like, hey, I'm preparing my trip and then I'm going to Google, or I'm going to Booking.com, or I'm going to Expedia, or to Air France, whatever, and helping them. So that's like the majority of the usage, but which is still like, I mean, I'm still amazed that many people are using it, but more and more are using it as well to shape most of the planning, and some of them as a primary tool. So again, still very early here, But what we see is that it's growing dramatically. So there's more and more people. If you ask the same question a year ago compared to this year, and I'm sure compared to next year, that are going to be willing to give more and more control to the agents, not only to organize a trip, but ultimately to book it and to pay for it. And that transition is happening super quick. Think about the early days of e-commerce, right? At the beginning, nobody wanted to put a credit card out there. It was completely insane. And now, like, we actually have our credit card registered in the website, and we don't give a shit when we trust them. And I think the same thing will happen with AI, and and I think the adoption will be even faster than with the e-commerce. I mean, I'm sure most of your parents are using AI every day. I'm still and they are using it like super actively. So even older generations are embracing this technology, which is also one of the reasons they have OpenAI have crazy valuations. So that was a little bit of the industry. So now, okay, you want to build something. It's like how people are going to find me, right? It's like there's been all these things around GEO for the past 2 years. Like I have, okay, when people is asking something on ChatGPT, how do my brand show up? How do I have my links that redirect the traffic? But what's shifting right now is that not only you have traffic that's getting redirected, but we're starting to see an AI native interface, an AI native implementation. And there's been a kind of a first app store moments, that's kind of the first layer of distribution, which is basically a registry of product and services directly in Claude and ChatGPT. Not yet in Gemini, they're kind of working on it, but nothing is really live. But Claude and ChatGPT have been pushing that pretty hard. So this is, again, pretty old school, right? There's like a registry, there's links, you have to connect it. It's a little bit like the iOS or Android App Store, but many people have been embracing it. If you look at the total applications, so that's, if you want to use, this is a tool we built and that is free online. We call it Atlas, is atlas.alpic.ai. You can scan this QR code if you want to go directly to the sites. We're basically tracking all the apps that have been released, and every day we're updating it, whether it's travel or not, but travel is very important. There's about 2,000 apps as of today in ChatGPT, and about 400 connectors. Cloud call it connectors, but at the end of the day, it's the same. What's interesting is, what about travel? Because we just travel vertical. Well, there's 286 applications on travel in ChatGPT already. It's been growing from like 50, 60 app total in March to like 2,000. And there's only 9 in Claude. It's still the very early days in Claude, and we'll talk about that later. So just checking. Yeah, a few of the brands that are out there, you have like OTAs, MetaSearch, airlines, hotel chains, a big mix of travel company, but the big question there, it's like, okay, all these people, they build it, but is there any ROI? Like, is there anyone using it? Right? That's the big question. Is there anyone using this application or in Claude or ChatGPT? And there was the introduction of my talks, like, okay, but how agents actually find this, right? Because you have this big list of potentially available MCP or CLI, or whatever it is, but there's no Google, right? At the beginning of the internet, pre-Google, people were putting signs on the street with your www.machin.com, so you can find the website. Well, nobody does that anymore, right? You just go to Google and you find the website. But now there's actually not a lot of ways to do it, but it's starting. And this is what I'm going to start sharing here. So let me change my screen. So we're going to start with ChatGPT and then switch to Claude. So if some of you haven't seen it, so this is ChatGPT. Here on the left, you have this tab that's open, which is this app ecosystem. And this is where you're going to see this close to 2,000 application in ChatGPT. And if you want to look for flights, you're going to have like a bunch of things here. This is where you can find our friend at Evaneos. Here it is. They have their own application, and Jinko here as well. And when you click on it, you have like a preview of how it's going to look like. You have like a small description. It's really like a simple iOS app store. Right now, to use an app, you have to proactively connect it to it previously. So I actually connected Jinko and Evaneos before, and I removed all the apps that I had. It took me half an hour. But if you want to connect just a new app, just to show you how it works, so let's go to booking.com. That's kind of the big elephant in the room. Basically, you go there, you connect, you have this little pop-up, say, okay, I'm connecting, boom, I'm done. I never had to do that again. Okay, so I've done it once, it's over for the rest of my life, until ChatGPT break things, which is every other week. It's connected. But how to then use it? Well, the initial way of doing it is say like, hey, Jinko, I'm gonna put my. Can I get the big mic? Because I'll need my two hands. I cannot type with just one. Is it working? Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Jinko. I want to go to. I hope it works. I want to go to London from Paris tomorrow morning. That's it. So you see, I have to proactively call Jinko, say, hey, Jinko, I want to go there. I'm looking for flight options. And the model understands that it needs to use the Jinko backend to actually do it. There's no flights. There's no flight to London. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have these little widgets that is popping up here, and that will show flight options. So that's how it works right now in ChatGPT. I'll come back to ChatGPT at the end because we can have a little fun experiments. Now let's switch to Claude. Stop sharing here. Entire screen here, sure. So Claude is super interesting. Same thing here. If you go to customize, connect your app, here you have this little connector store. There's way less B2C yet, but there's still a bunch. Historically, Claude was like mostly B2B SaaS, but now they're adding more and more. And same thing, you'll find the booking.com, the Expedia, some airlines, and a handful. And like I said, about 10 applications in travel. What is super interesting is that now the discovery part is actually getting more interesting. So here, I actually disconnected everything. So it's like first time I never use any connector. There's no connector plugged. You can trust me. You can go there. Connectors. None of them are. I don't have any connectors. And I'm gonna do that. Might be a bit slow. We'll see. So I'm planning a trip, right? I want to go to London for 3 days with my 2 kids. I'm gonna like search for places with Claude, like a lot of people are doing it. And it's going to give me a bunch of options. We'll wait, I'm just taking some. It is faster. The internet is not my friend, but it's going to come. That's a long answer. Okay, so pretty cool, right? This is native Claude, right? He didn't use any MCP yet. He's just doing his own thing. He knows a lot about London. He's been crawling the internet, and you find me like 3 days trip, a bunch of stuff to do, dinosaurs with kids, sounds amazing. Okay, cool. Which neighborhood should I stay? Okay, I'm gonna continue. It's like I don't know London. I need to find a place. So them saying, okay, there's like a few areas. Sounds amazing. Okay, let's do find me options in Notting Hill. Searching for places, still not using any MCP there. Still like traditional stuff that you might be using every day, Cloud for it. It's going to come up with a few hotel options. And this is where it's going to get a bit new and interesting. Okay, same thing. Okay, Portobello Hotel. Sounds good. Book me. No way. No way. Let's see. Thank you, Claude. Okay, well, this is why there's always a fallback in this type of presentation. So here it is. I did the exact same thing. Yeah, well, let me show me my stuff. No? Yes. So I did the exact same stuff earlier today, same conversation, find me hotel, different area, near Hyde Park this time. And after, my next question is like, hey, now book the Royal Lancaster hotel for me. And what he did is like, okay, I know I can book. And automatically he went to the connector store and searched for like a few options and gave me 2 connectors that I could use to actually book it. And then what I can do without going ever, I can say connect, it's going to connect. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to be able to use it. I hit my limits, and same thing that I showed earlier, I'm going to have like the widget, I'm going to have a few options, and I can continue the booking experience and book directly. So the dynamic discovery starts to appear here, and it's becoming like super interesting for many brands. One thing, I'm going to switch back to the slide first to show you a couple of things, and then we're going to try to fight with ChatGPT because Claude doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Sorry, we're not friends anymore. So if you look at So if you go to the advanced mode of both ChatGPT and Claude, what you find is this little thing. And that's very small at the bottom of some of those connectors, but that's what's going to unlock billions and billions of dollars of travel revenue. This is let ChatGPT automatically search connected sources for answers, or same flavor in Claude, connector search. Let's Claude search directory, the connector directory interface once relevant for your conversation. So it's basically automatically letting the model automatically pop up and find things that you can find, services that you can connect directly. That's very nascent, but this is absolutely huge. So you might ask, okay, but is this real? Because in ChatGPT earlier, we saw that we actually have to connect the app and then call the app. So there's no dynamic discovery. Well, we're going to try to make it happen because this is not easy. So if questions after, I'm like in a very hard demo right now. So let's do a new trip. This time we're going to Asia. Still with my 2 kids. So I went to ChatGPT again, and I just connected two apps, right? I connected Evaneos and ChatGPT. So same thing, it's going to do some planning, show me some pictures, planning the trip for me, having a handful of really cool options. My follow-up questions will be, Yeah, it's coming, it's coming. So say, okay, that sounds amazing. Let's what's on a flight? I want to have flight. So find me a flight to Newark. What is it gonna do? Well, it's searching the web. It's going to the web, just trying to find options online. Nothing really that can help. Please, can you use a chat GPT app for it? It's gonna be nice at the beginning. If it's not, I have to be. Whoa! It worked earlier. You saw it. So he played nice. He's actually rendering. Wow, it's working. It is real. It's not only fake. So hey, I have the carousel. I have a few options. I can select the flight, and then I can just go to it. So same thing. What's happening here is like there's a prime to be connected first in two ways. The first one is that ChatGPT doesn't show proactively any of the apps, but if you connect once and then you start like asking proactively things, he's going to use it. So there's a huge prime, and it's a little bit like the iOS and Android platform, right? You have way more. If you're the first app in a category that's got installed, you're going to have a way bigger usage than any of the others. Two, in cloud, once you connect an app, it doesn't ask you the question. So it's like it just goes straight to it and use it every time. And we actually have a real life proof of that with one of our customers that was the first travel connector ever in cloud. That was back in November. Nobody were using it because like cloud was only technical people, but now there's like so many people in cloud. And going back to the presentation. That's the traffic of one of our customers. So since they unlocked the dynamic discovery in cloud, the traffic been like 20x just a few months. And it's doubling every month since. And basically, they're now seeing like bookings. The conversion is still like a bit clunky, but they've seen like something like a few $100,000 of booking just last month from almost zero, just random people in February. So just to wrap up, we believe that the internet interface is changing from being like human-facing, going through Google, which is everything we've been building for over the past 25 years, to AI-facing first, going through MCP or not MCP, but some kind of AI interface that users and agents will decide dynamically in a way we don't know yet. So we scrapped the Cloud API to actually understand how they were doing it. It's very basic. They have a ranking, so they rank all the apps. They have the trending, so they give you the trending, and they're using the description of the app. Super basic. That's the way they're doing it. ChatGPT introduced some like thumbs up, thumbs down on top of the application. Whether they're going to use it or not, probably, but that's going to be some of the information they will use to show more or less an application. So the fight is going to move radically from trying to be the #1 on the Google search to be the most findable by AI agents very soon. And that's going to be a very, very iterative process. It's very early today, but it's going to unlock billions of dollars, and people that are not following that are going to be left out dramatically. And these guys are already like, they've been the first one, and I'm sure, and they see the success already. So that's about it for me. This is also some of the same Focusrite insights. There's already like more than 50% of the people in the travel industry that start to play with like MCP. Well, A2A, nobody really uses it, but they had it in the presentation, so I put it there. But CLI, MCP, APIs to face agents. So this is me. There's a few QR code, the slides here if you want to get them, my LinkedIn and the Alpic website. And thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you very much for the presentation. So I was curious, like beyond travel, where do you observe ROI beyond usage? You mentioned this one, like 20x usage, but do you already, I know you have a large national brand customers. Do you already have like some numbers, like some trends around the ROI? So that would be my first question. And the second is like, I put you on the spot, like what's your prediction for the number of apps on the store by the end of the year?
So on the ROI, I would say in ChatGPT, it's deceptive mostly because the dynamic discovery, like I said, is tough. So now they kind of this behavior of having an app when you insist a lot popping up is only there for the past 2-3 weeks. So we'll see if it impacts the numbers. But a month ago, it was very, very hard to have any of your pre-connected app to show up. So they need to work on the dynamic discovery. And that's going back to your second question. I think it's related to two things. One is the number of apps and quality apps that they have in the store. It was like 50 4 months ago. Now it's like 2000s. And two is just OpenAI focus. They've been focusing entirely their company into like codecs and the coding, which is where the big money is right now. But I believe the money there is even bigger, and they're going to get there eventually. In cloud, we see surprisingly good ROI for our customers because, again, now there's dynamic discovery. So it's also super interesting to see that when your product can get found, you start to see revenue coming up. So gross numbers, but we're talking about a few 100,000 of bookings per month. So it's a tiny bit compared to the multi millions that these guys are doing, but it's still coming. As far as the number of apps, there's 8 million apps on the iOS App Store. So we're a long way far away from it, but it all depends on the discovery again. It all depends on the discovery and also on the experience that they allow us to create. So if the experience is getting better and better and the discovery is there, well, all the companies on the planet will want to build. It will be millions of apps overnight. Whether it's now 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, it's I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but the stuff is accelerating a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks. My question is about Alpic. So will Alpic or does Alpic play a role in the discoverability of the apps?
So yes and no. No, because at the end of the day, it will be ChatGPT and Cloud and these distribution layers that are going to make the decision. So the agent will make the decision. Yes, because there's going to be a way of influence it. And today we are the ones that have the most experience there. We created a couple of products around it. One which is checking, we call it the beacon. So it's basically checking the quality of your app before you're publishing it. And we give you insights on the description of your tools, the description of the app, on the way your app is rendering. So that's one way you can influence. And we are right now also doing a lot of testing on, again, what are they using to show one app versus another to influence. So we can influence on your product to make it the most discoverable for your for the agents, but the final decision is the agent.
Okay, but there are some tools how to influence.
It's the early days, but yeah, they are,
Yeah, and maybe also will Alpic maybe can play a role in ChatGPT ads, maybe, or Cloud ads one day?
So obviously, we believe that the discoverability will include a paid discoverability. Again, I think the Google playbook is still valid. So you have a few options that are showing up because they are the best ones, and a few options that are showing up because they are paid. But there's no link yet between advertisements and applications. So in ChatGPT, ads are only available in the US. I think it's coming in Europe at one point. I don't know. We actually, for ourselves, do some advertisement there to learn. But you can only reference links to websites, basically. You cannot reference an app yet.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any last questions before the drinks? Yeah, sure.
Maybe one question about your vision about GEO. Do you think that like it's a big thing for the past 2 years? Do you think that it's gonna still be a big thing, like SEO and SEA for Google, or maybe at some point maybe GEO will not be a thing and everyone has to do his own MCP and the agents are going to stop to scrap all the internet?
Yeah, I think GEO is a big bullshit word to sell companies new products that are not new products. I mean, what is GEO first? The problem is like nobody can define it. At the end of the day, is like how a model makes a decision to find you when you're asking something, and he's going to use a handful of things. There's obviously the pre-training, so the whole internet, all the content that's ever been written. There's the post-training and reinforcement learning, where they basically take data sets that are either like synthetic or specialized, and unless you walk there, you have no idea what they use. Then they are using web search, which is one of the tools of the model, and the web search is basically Google. They have crawlers that have been indexing the web, and they created their own indexing of the web. And when the model needs, and which is often, it's just doing a web search, taking a few links, reading it, and summarizing it to give you an answer. Then there are some of the like agentic protocol, like ACP, UCP. They might integrate that directly inside the chatbot, like a Google shopping experience, to buy the product directly. And then there's like potential third-party integration like MCP, which will be an AI native communication between the brand and everything. At the end of the day, they're going to make some weights between all of that to give you an answer. So for example, in Claude right now, there's a heavy weight on the connectors. Because when you're asking something that a connector can do, it only, like I showed, it only show you the connector. It doesn't show you, there's no answer based on web search. On ChatGPT, on the other hand, I had to insist quite a bit. And in my other example, I had to insult him, actually, to get the app because he didn't want to show me, even after asking twice nicely. He ended up showing me the application to actually doing it. So it's all going to be about weight balances. What I do believe is that AI native integration at the end of the day will win because they will consume less token, they will be fastest, and they will be efficient and made for it. Now, the whole internet won't disappear overnight. So they're using what's available, and web search is pretty efficient, right? We've got so many technology to do good coding and web technologies over the past 20 years that is used a lot. So yeah, now what is GEO? I mean, the GEO is just create better content, be ready, and build all this interface for AI. And it's still interesting to measure. So I think the measurement part of GEO is interesting because you know where you're at. But to influence it is building new stuff and the old playbook of showing up well on the web indexing, which is SEO. Thank you. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much. It's generative engine optimization. It's like SEO, but for models. Yeah. Thank you.